Hello my dear friends, you're in the Military with Summary channel, and this video we're going to discuss the most important events that took place during the previous 12 hours. We have a lot of very interesting updates, so let's start. And first we're going to talk about another massive attack that took place during the previous night. The Russians, according to information we have, attacked the city of Kiev by the morning of the 25th of October of 2025. In this video we can see the first seconds after Russians attacked the territory of the eastern part of the city of Kiev. As you can see, the Russians attacked the power plant number 6. The situation with energy is very critical for Ukraine, but now we see that the situation is going to be even worse. Furthermore, we have a few more videos from the same area from different angles. So as you can see, there is a very huge fire on the eastern bank of the city of Kiev. This is another video of the same territory but from another angle. So once again, the power plant number 6 was, as I understand, completely destroyed. Most likely today the city of Kiev will have no electricity or energy supply. Anyway, let's wait and see what is going to be next. But I would like to remind you that while the Russians were attacking the critical infrastructure of Ukraine, Zelensky was on the territory of the United Kingdom, where he had a meeting with the coalition of willing. And Zelensky made lots of very interesting statements. Zelensky stated that on the day war ends, security guarantees must be ready. When diplomacy is once again set aside, it becomes clear to us what needs to be done. We need more powerful strike capabilities deep into Russia. And one more request, I strongly urge you to push your team so that together with our team we can finalize the future framework agreement on security guarantees. Furthermore, he stated that we are not trying to find a way to stop Putin and this war without the participation of the United States of America. Another important thing, that Zelensky met with King Charles III on the United Kingdom, and His Majesty told him to walk up front. Furthermore, we had report that the Danish Prime Minister stated that Putin's strategy has been to wait for us to stop helping Ukraine. At some point, he expected us to give up. Another important statement, it's a fight for Ukraine, for Europe, and for the United Kingdom. We are working with Ukraine not only for Ukraine, but for the benefit of all the rest of us. Another important statement, that's NATO Secretary General Rutte. Putin is running out of money, ideas, and soldiers. So this is the reality the Western countries and Zelensky are living in. While the Russians are destroying Ukrainian energy facilities and critical infrastructure, Zelensky is not even on the territory of Ukraine. He is somewhere in the Western Europe. Now let's discuss the situation on the ground. During the previous 12 hours we received lots of very interesting updates. And first we're going to talk about the city of Kherson. We continue receiving different updates. For example, in this video we can see how Russians were bombing and attacking the settlement of Kherson with multiple launch rocket systems. This day we talk a lot about the city of Kherson because currently it's very difficult to understand what exactly is happening there. So maybe the Russians are planning to land infantry. Maybe the Russians are planning to restore control over the city of Kherson, and this is something like an artillery preparation before another landing operation. Very difficult to say, but one thing is clear, the Russians are trying to do everything they can with the purpose to force the Ukrainians to spin down in the area of Kherson, to force Ukrainians not to redeploy reinforcements and reserves from this area in the direction, let's say, of the city of Zaporozhye, or in the Zaporozhye direction, or in the direction of the city of Pokrovsk. And it seems that if Ukrainians decide to redeploy the reinforcements and reserves from this area to other directions, it seems that the Russians will use the situation and they will cross the river of Dnipro. Now let's talk about the Zaporozhye direction. During the previous 12 hours we received lots of very interesting updates, and the first update is coming from the settlement by the name of Yegorovka. This morning pro-Russian resources published this video, and in this video we can see how 2 Russian soldiers were moving through the village of Yegorovka with the Russian flag. So currently we have no doubts that the entire village was captured by Russians, because we don't see any resistance from the Ukrainian side, neither drones or artillery military strike, nothing was carried out by Ukrainian forces. So we believe that in coming days or even hours, we're gonna get additional updates about the northern part of the settlement, and we believe that maybe even in coming hours, everything along this red line would be colored in Russian favor, which is obviously a very important progress on the ground. At the same time, the Russians continue bombing and attacking the settlement of by the name of Vishnyova in the same direction. Most likely the Russians are planning to move further in this direction as well. Furthermore, the Russians managed to cut logistic. Ukrainians during the previous days were trying to bring additional forces in the direction of Vishnyova, but everything that entered this kill zone was immediately destroyed by Russians. So the situation in this direction remains tense. Now let's move further and let's discuss the situation in the city of Pokrovsk. And as I understand, the Russians today managed to create a cauldron for the armed forces of Ukraine without any chances for evacuation, without significant losses. Today, several pro-Russian resources reported that as a result of clashes, the armed forces of the Russian Federation managed to establish complete control over the settlement by the name of Rodinskaya. So let's discuss the details. This is the situation in the area of Rodinskaya by the end of the 22nd of October, and this is exactly the moment when we start receiving updates about additional progress on the ground. By the end of the 23rd of October, Russians managed to secure the settlement of Krasny Liman and the central part of the settlement of Rodinskaya. We had this video and we discussed this video several days ago. Here we can see how two Russian soldiers entered the southern part of the settlement of Rodinskaya, and they were moving in the northern direction from the village of Krasny Liman. Based on this video and based on another video you made adjustments. By the end of the 24th of October, we got report that the Russians improved their positions in the central part of the settlement, and by the morning of the 25th of October, pro-Russian sources reported that the village of Rodinskaya was captured completely. So that's it. Now Ukrainians have no possibilities for evacuation. Because I would like to remind you that during the previous days, we received lots of updates about the situation on the western and the northwestern flanks of the city of Pokrovsk. I would like to point attention to the top left corner, this one. According to information we have, all these territories were also captured by Russians. So something like this, all these territories that are located inside of this red line were already captured by the armed forces of the Russian Federation. This information was confirmed by different, let's say, different sources, mainly pro-Russian sources. And from this perspective, we see that the distance between positions of the armed forces of the Russian Federation in the northwestern part of the city of Rodinskaya, in the northwestern part of the city of Pokrovsk, and in the southern part of the city of Rodinskaya is less than 4 kilometers. And telling the truth, Ukrainians have no chances to use these roads for evacuation. Furthermore, according to information we have, the Russians improved their positions in the city of Mirnograd. The Russians captured the mine of Mirnograd. This is the mine of Dimitrova. We came to this conclusion based on this video that was published by Ukrainian sources, and here we can see how Ukrainians were attacking positions of the armed forces of the Russian Federation on the territory of this mine. Based on this video we came to conclusion that the Russians captured this territory, and this is one of the most powerful former stronghold of the armed forces of Ukraine in this area. Now the Russians have possibilities to concentrate and to accumulate forces before moving forward in the northern direction. So we believe that the ultimatum that was issued by Russians to abandon the city of Pokrovsk and Mirnograd by the 27th of October of 2025 is a real information, and Ukrainians currently don't have any other option if they want to save their soldiers and vehicles and equipment. Now let's talk about the city of Konstantinovka. During the previous 12 hours, we received a very important video, this one. Here we can see a video that was published by Ukrainian sources, and here we can see how Ukrainians were attacking positions of the armed forces of the Russian Federation on the territory of the city of Konstantinovka. So this is the most important episode. This building was geolocated, and this is exactly the structure, the construction that was attacked by the armed forces of Ukraine with FPV drones. Based on this video, we came to conclusion that the Russians managed to improve their position significantly and to improve their positions in the southeastern part of the city. At the same time, the Ukrainians are trying to bring additional reinforcements and reserves with the purpose to stabilize the situation, but as soon as another vehicle enters a kill zone, this vehicle can be destroyed within seconds or even minutes. Now let's move further and let's discuss the situation in the Liman direction. During the previous 12 hours, pro-Ukrainian sources published this video, and here we can see how Russians were moving already on the territory of the city of Liman. In this video we can see how Ukrainians were inspecting the territory, and when they discovered Russian soldier, Ukrainians decided to attack this soldier. So this episode and this let's say situation took place exactly at this point, and this is already the southeastern outskirts of the city of Liman. So today we received, for the first time since the beginning of the third battle for the city of Liman, we received an update that confirms that the Russians managed to enter the city itself and the battle for this territory has begun. And that's it for the short video. Military Summary channel reminds you we condemn any violence in the world. Thank you for watching, subscribe to my channel, put your likes, join my Patreon, and have a good day. Bye bye.